Hey everybody, this is Scott Hutzbath with Agentmastermind. Super excited to be here with you guys and appreciate you guys joining us today. Have a great class planned for you guys with Frank Patrick. It's always been a huge success for a lot of people. Tons of testimonials from this one. Frank and I have been doing this class. I think we've done it 4 or 5 times now over the last couple of years, and everybody just raves on how awesome this strategy is, because the strategy, and Frank, you know this, it's not rate driven, it's not market driven. It's just going to unfortunately happen on a monthly basis. So you're going to show us the tricks of the trade. You're going to show us everything there is to know about how to get 2 to 3 new listings using the probate strategy. And Frank, I always get excited when you come on here. And so I'm excited to have you back, man. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So what do you got for us, man? I know there's probably a lot of new faces, a lot of people that have maybe seen the course, didn't take action. We have people that took action before on this thing. I just want to go through it as if you did last time and kind of walk them through exactly what you have, how to do it, step by step, the letters you use, and then talk to them about some extra training they can get at the end to really take this thing to another level.
All right, I'm ready for them. I've got basically what I'm going to do today is give everyone a behind the scenes look at how we get the probate leads and how we market to them to compel them to call us to come list the property. So if that's good, we'll get started. Once again, everyone, if you could please close your office door, log out of Facebook, put your phone on mute. I'm going to turn off the ringer on mine and turn it upside down so I don't get any text messages while we're talking here. Please take notes. And if you'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, there's a little box that says questions. Feel free to type your questions in at any time. I want to get through all the information that I have to share with you today, and then we'll take all those questions and we'll answer them. And I promise I'll stay on until we answer the last one. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Frank Patrick. I'm a real estate broker, and let's see if we can get this thing going. So here's the obligatory real estate picture taken approximately 20 years ago. Don't laugh. I'm sure you have the same one. You know, you probably have one when you graduate from high school on your business card. But here's the real Frank. So I want you to know, who you're talking to. That's 2 of my grandkids there. So always got to sneak a picture of the grandkids in. And I've got one more that wasn't pictured. She was too young to make it to the pumpkin patch with me, and I've got one more on the way. Beautiful. So today I want to talk about how to get probate estate listings. You'll hear the term is interchangeable. It means the same thing. Before we get started, if you could type on the right side in the question box or in the chat box, either one, and let me know what the biggest challenge that you face today in your business is. Scott and I talk to agents all across the United States every day. We want to make sure that we continue to bring relevant information to you, and this is your chance to share that information with us. What are your challenges? What I'm hearing is that there's a lack of saleable listings. All right, so the good ones sell fast. And I've noticed it myself. I've been out showing some first-time buyers houses east of Phoenix in the Mesa area. They're in that $220,000 price range. And we're seeing properties go on the market on Friday, and then they get multiple offers, and on Monday, it turns into basically an auction for the property. And then they're gone, right? There's no inventory during the week. You got to wait until Friday, see what comes up. So everybody here is probably in a similar situation where you need more saleable listings. Now there's more competition. Scott and I were just talking. I think there's now 1.7 million realtors in the United States. So there's more agents competing for the same listings. We have some competition from outside businesses, businesses that are new to the market. Redfin, Open Door, OfferPad, Purple Bricks, Homey. I don't even, that's a new one here for me, and I've recently had some experience with Open Door. At least in my market area, they're buying tons of houses. They put them right back up for sale the next day for a higher price, and that excludes my first-time buyers who are using FHA mortgages. So we're seeing more competition from outside market forces, and again, more agents competing for the same prospect. But what if you could see into the future and identify who was going to sell a house in your market area 6 months from now. Would that give you an unfair advantage?
Absolutely.
Of course it would. I mean,
Be a beautiful thing.
If you were the first agent to know who was going to sell in your marketplace 6 months from now, you could begin building a relationship with them now. So when they made the decision to put the house on the market, you'd be top of mind and the obvious choice. Well, that's what I'm going to show you today. You can do that. It's not as easy as just looking at a map, but it's free. It's public information. And I'm going to show you how to find out who is going to sell a property in your area 3 to 6 months from now. Now, someone in your marketplace will eventually get these listings. My goal is to show you how to find the property, identify the person responsible for selling the property, and show you how to get in front of them so you can be the agent of choice. So over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can get dozens of probate leads each month for free and how to compel them to list with you. So let's talk a little bit about the probate opportunity. I think a lot of people are unaware of just how large it is. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 2.5 million people over the age of 30 die each year, and 65% own at least one property. 95% don't have a living trust, and if they don't have a trust, they're going to probate. Now, the only way around that is that they die with no debt or no assets, and I haven't heard of anybody having that issue yet. I mean, it's possible to die. It's possible you might die with no assets, but you're probably going to have some debt. And some states have a small estate exemption. I think Missouri is like $60,000. If your entire estate's worth less than $60,000, you don't have to go to probate. But obviously, that wouldn't be a prospect for us, anyways. So if you do the math, you come up with somewhere around 1.3, 1.4 million potential probate estate listings each year here in the United States. So I'm going to show you how we have developed a system, and it's a repeatable system. We've been using this for over 9 years now to get these folks to list with us. And it will work regardless of your experience, your location, your company, or your competition. Hey, Scott, I'm getting a little bit of echo. Might be a mic that's on.
Shouldn't be mine. I'll just mute myself right now while you're talking.
Okay, cool. So first of all, let me share with you what we do not do. So we don't read obituaries, solicit funeral homes, solicit attorneys, solicit grieving families. We don't get the list of these properties and cold call or door knock. We don't do any of those things. Part of it is because I don't like doing any of those things. And the biggest part of it is we're dealing with people that are going through maybe one of the most difficult periods of their life, and we want to make sure we're treating them with dignity, respect, and professionalism. So my goal today is to show you exactly how to get probate listings. And basically, we're just going to give you a behind-the-scenes view of how I get the leads and how I market to them. And if you stay until the end, I'll show you how you can get my personal help setting up and running your own probate listing machine in your service area. So today, we're just going to talk about probate properties. And these properties must be sold to settle the estate of a deceased person. The number one reason the properties have to be sold is to pay the debts of the decedent. Most of us will die cash poor and asset rich. All right, so we'll spend our cash in our later years, throughout our retirement. And when we die, the biggest asset we leave is going to be real estate, our house. And to pay our bills, who's ever in charge of our estate is going to have to sell that property, pay off all of our debt, and distribute the money to our heirs as we've specified. A probate is the legal process through which the court oversees the estate of a deceased person to make sure all the debts are paid. Number one debt is taxes. So once you die, you haven't escaped taxes. Somebody has to file on your behalf. So whoever you've left instructions for in your will as your personal representative or executor. That person will file taxes for you. And depending on where you live and how much money you leave, they'll also pay any estate or death taxes on your behalf. Then they'll pay all of your creditors and then distribute the assets and the cash that's left over. Now, if you have a will, the will determine how your estate is transferred. Without a will, the laws in the state where you lived specify who gets what part of your estate. Once again, 2.5 million people over the age of 30 die each year here in the United States. That's according to the U.S. Census Bureau. 65% own at least one property. The vast majority do not have a living trust. And we know from experience that 90% will sell within 12 months to pay the estate's debt. So who am I? What makes me qualified to teach this class? If we haven't met before, first of all, I want you to know that I'm a real estate broker. I was first licensed in Missouri and Kansas back in 2000. And then I moved to Arizona after I sold my real estate office in Missouri. And I've been licensed here since 2016. I'm a firm believer in coaching. I believe that if you want to learn how to do something, find someone that's already successful doing it and learn from them. And I did the same with my real estate career. I've been coached by Craig Proctor, Dirk Zeller, Joe Stump, Rob Menton, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, and a couple folks on the Dan Kennedy team. So always been one to learn and continue to learn today. I read probably 10 books a month and participate in marketing and training conferences all across the United States. During my full-time career selling real estate, I averaged over 100 transactions a year, to be exact. My best year was 237. So that year, our goal was to close one sale a day. We worked Monday through Friday. We wanted to close one sale every day. We came up a little bit short. I was the broker owner for 12 years and owned a nationally franchised real estate brokerage for 5 years. I began training and coaching other agents back in 2007, and today I have over 10,400 past students. Where I think I probably learned the most and had the most growth in my own business was during a 3-year period where I ran a private mastermind group for 35 agents who were located all across the United States. Every one of them was doing over 100 transactions, and some of them were doing upwards. I think we had one in the group doing 400 transactions a year. And so we would meet once a month and share what was working and what was not. And so this is where I had a tremendous amount of growth in my own personal career. About 9 years ago, I developed a system for getting probate listings, and I've been refining it every month since that time. So what you're going to see today is the culmination of my 19 years in the real estate business and 9 years of effort, not only my own effort, but the effort of my students and the effort of my mastermind group. These agents all using my system and relaying back to me how we can make it better. And so over the course of 9 years, we've continually improved it. Now I have discovered probably the most important thing to a successful real estate career is to build a reliable source of listings, because every listing is worth 3 transactions. I think we all know that, and especially in probate, because when you get a probate listing, you're going to be dealing with the personal representative. That's the person responsible for liquidating the estate, but you'll also be dealing with the heirs. And when you sell the property and the estate is liquidated and distributed to the heirs, by that time you'll have a rapport with the heirs, and the heirs have now, in many cases, received a large chunk of cash, and they can become excellent real estate prospects, right? Whether they sell their existing home and move up to a larger home, and you get 2 transactions out of that one heir, or they purchase investment properties with the money they've inherited. Listings take 75% less time than buyers. You don't have to spend money to attract the buyer clients if you have listing inventory. Now, almost every type of prospecting and advertising works. Unfortunately, most of them are not sustainable, profitable, or predictable. And today, of course, there are more companies competing for your money than there are listings for you to get. So why probate? The number one reason that I chose probate 9 years ago is that the leads are easy to obtain, because probate is a legal process that requires public notice. So part of the probate process is to post public notice in a newspaper. And this creates a record for us to find. We can quickly look up that information online and find out if there's real estate in the estate. We can find out who the person responsible for liquidating the estate is, and we can start marketing to them. Now, 90% of these leads sell within 12 months. It's very inexpensive to market to them because we have the name, address, in many cases, telephone number of the person. So we don't need to purchase a billboard and hope they drive by it. We don't need to carpet bomb an entire neighborhood of 1,200 houses hoping to reach the 6 people that live there that are going to sell. We only market directly to the people that had a 90% chance of selling in the next 12 months. There's very little competition. In most markets where we have tested this marketing, we have found that the only people marketing to these folks are the We Buy Houses and the Homevestor guys. You know, they're sending a postcard stating that they'll buy the house and it's as is condition. You know, of course they want to purchase it at a steep discount. What I like is that other agents can't copy the marketing, right? So unlike a billboard or a television ad or a Facebook ad where everyone can see, including your prospects, but your competitors can also see what your offer is. Well, in this case, your competitors would have to have a friend or family member die and leave them as the personal representative for them to get a copy of your marketing materials. So it's highly, highly unlikely. Once again, when you have the inventory, you get the buyers for free. When you sell the listing, the heirs become buyer prospects. And as Scott mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, this is not economically driven. I used to do a tremendous REO business, and it all came to a screeching halt back in 2010 after our country passed some legislation that made it more difficult and more time-consuming to foreclose, and introduced some financial measures to help homeowners stop foreclosure and do short sales and refinance. So, you know, that business model was economically driven and only lasted as long as that economic cycle lasted. So the probate sales, you know, the same number of people are going to die this year, regardless of what happens with the economy or the stock market or interest rates. And once you figure this business out, and you'll probably see this as we're going through here, you're going to see a lot of the work necessary to get probate listings can be delegated to someone that's already on your team or outsourced to an independent contractor or virtual assistant, or even outsourced to companies that do this kind of work. In fact, the way I have this business set up, we don't have to do anything internally other than take the phone calls from the folks that want us to come list their house. And there's no referral fees or high cost of client acquisition. So I think I heard the other day Realtor.com wants us to now pay 30% or 35% referral fee if we get a lead from them and close it. So once again, there's a misconception over probate. A lot of people think that you only have to go through probate if you have a will, which is incorrect. You have to go through probate if you have any assets, any debt. The only way out of it is to have a living trust. And we believe that only 5% of the population has a valid, fully vested living trust. So there are 4 ways an estate is brought into the probate court. And number 1 and number 2 are the most common. Person dies, leaves a will. Now, wills are not recorded. Wills have to be found. So typically, you know, someone will die, a family member knows where the will's at, right? It's in the safe deposit box or it's in their fire safe at home. Usually more than one person has a copy of it. Sometimes their attorney has a copy of it, but they're not recorded. So someone has to find it. Once they find the will, they'll read it, determine who is specified in the will to be the personal representative or executor. Those terms are interchangeable. And then that person will take the will to the probate court and petition the court to probate the will. Some states require an attorney to do this. Some states allow a person to do it without an attorney. The second most likely case is that the person passed without a will, and this is called dying intestate. And typically we'll see that a family member will realize that we can't find the will, or there is no will, something needs to be done. They'll hire an attorney, and the attorney will probate or petition the court to probate the estate without a will. There's a couple other ways that happens. These are more rare. When there's a trust, the trust could be challenged. Someone could say it's invalid, or there was some fraud or undue influence. Very rare cases. And there is a case where a trust could be unfunded. So someone had a fully vested living trust, and then they sold their big house and downsized to a smaller house, and they forgot to change the title of the new house into the name of the trust. Now that house has to go through the probate process. So you may be asking yourself, will this work in my market? Yes, absolutely. Now, what I can't tell you is I don't know how many people live in your market area. And so this business is driven by population. If you live in a market area with 1 million people, there'll be more people who own houses, more people who die, and more people who go through probate. If you live in a more sparsely populated area with fewer residents, there'll be fewer houses, fewer people will die, right? So the opportunity will be slightly smaller for you. You may be wondering if there's a lot of competition. I got to tell you, I've never been one to worry about what other agents are doing. Main reason is, if you just look at the numbers, according to the National Association of Realtors, 87% of agents will be gone in 5 years. 99% will be gone in 10 years. So if you follow what the other agents in your office are doing, there's a 99% probability you're following the wrong one, right? So you don't want to follow the 99% that are going to be gone in 10 years, right? You want to follow the 1% that are going to make it. Problem is, we just don't know who they are. So I don't pay any attention to what other agents are doing in my office. Many agents believe that probate attorneys control the listings. We believe they control probably 5 to 10%. It's a small number. It's not something that we're concerned about, because we have so many other leads. We don't need to really deal with the attorneys unless you want to, and that's kind of an advanced technique. Real reason is that more agents don't do this is that they're uncomfortable with death, and they're afraid to contact someone who's had a relative die. That's the number one reason. And even agents who may have tried it in the past, maybe they figured out how to get the leads, but they didn't do an effective job advertising and marketing. And that's what you came here to see today. Now, I discovered this the hard way. It took me 9 years. You're going to get to cheat and do it the easy way. And while most brokers and trainers will tell you that everyone is your prospect, you can't afford to market to everyone. So, if you look at the U.S. Census Bureau, they say there are 87 million homeowners. According to the National Association of Realtors, there's 5 million sales. That's 6%. So 6 out of 100 homeowners sell. 94 out of 100 don't. I'm going to show you how to market just to the 6% in your market area that are going to sell in the next 90 days, or 3 to 6 months. So once again, the easy way is to identify the 6% and only spend your time, money, and energy marketing to them. So here's where you want to take notes. I'm going to show you the 5 secrets to getting probate listings. Number 1, you can get the leads for free. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I got a couple screenshots. I'm going to give you the resources you need. You can get these leads for free. You can get them from the courthouse. You can get them online. Now, if you have, most people are here because they either want more money or more time, right? So if you want more money and you don't have a lot of money to invest in your business today, I'm going to show you how to get these leads for free. If you're here because you're already successful in your business, you just want more time or more consistency, I'll show you how you can purchase the leads. The only difference is, you're trading time for money. And in the beginning, a lot of us don't have a lot of money, so we use our own time. So I'm going to show you how to do that, how to get them for free. I'll also tell you how to buy the leads. Now, not all the leads are equal. And so if you're getting the leads yourself, I'm going to show you how to pick and choose and only how to market to the best. If you're paying someone for leads and you have the money to invest in your business, you just mail to them all. We have found that you need to be consistent with the mailings. And so we mail 4 times, and we have found over the course of 9 years that that is the most effective way to market, to get probate listings, is by using direct mail. We've also found that what you mail is important. In this instance, postcards just don't work. So I'm going to show you the actual mailing that we use so you can get a feel for, exactly what we're talking about here. And secret number 5, we found that if you call a week after each letter is mailed, you'll get twice as many listings. So I'm going to show you the marketing sequence next. First, let's talk about getting the leads. If you have more time than money, you can get the leads for free. If you're already busy and you have some money to invest in your business, you can purchase the leads. Now, when I first began pursuing probate listings, I was getting my leads directly from the probate courthouse. The leads are free, but you'll spend a considerable amount of time driving to the courthouse, sorting through the new filings, taking notes, etc. And of course, you can only do this, Monday through Friday, not on federal or state holidays, between the hours of, 8 and 5. Then I discovered you can find the leads online for free in much less time. And this has worked for every student that I've had in my training. So now what we do once a week is we search for the new probate listings in our county, pull them up, open a new screen, search the property tax database to see if they own real estate, and if they do, that's a lead. And I'll give you an example of that. But once again, each county we've researched thus far has an online legal publication where court actions are published. This is far easier than going to the courthouse. Now, this includes more than just probate leads, but today I'm just here to talk to you about marketing to probate. So let's get an example for you. So the easiest thing to do is just to do a quick Google search, and you want to search for the name of your county and state and the words or the search term legal notices. Most likely, this will lead you to the website publicnoticeads.com. publicnoticeads.com. This search, I guess I cut off the top of the screen, but it was for Maricopa County, Arizona, legal notices. publicnoticeads.com. Now from here, you'll select your state, select your county, and then you'll put in your search term. Search term for this instance would be estate or probate. Then you choose a date range, probably the last month. Hit go, and you're going to pull up a whole list of probate cases. So we'll just click on one as an example here. So this is, and I've highlighted the part I want you to see here. This is the estate of Joanne Rose. So this particular notice that was published in a local newspaper in Maricopa County, Arizona, has been posted on this website. So every legal notice in the county, this website posts it, and you can search through them and find just the ones that are probate cases. This particular one was the notice of informal probate of will and appointment of personal representative Joanne Rose. So Joanne is our decedent. She's the person that passed away. We do a quick property tax record search with her name. We know the county where she lived. Right here on the bottom, we can see that Joanne owned real estate on Moreland Street We can also click on the parcel number, tells us the approximate value, etc. Now, in this particular instance, this property was listed for sale already, so we were a little slow on the draw there. But so you can see that you can find this information. It's online and it's free. So here we see that on February 2nd, the court actually appointed Sharon as the personal representative of the estate. Now this means Sharon is our prospect. The estate of Joanne Rose owns the house, but the person that you're going to market to is Sharon, because Sharon is going to be liquidating the estate and distributing the assets to the heirs. So we would take both names down. Sharon's our prospect. We're going to take down that she's the personal representative for Joanne Rose, and we're going to take down the address of the property that we found. That's the property that we want to sell, but we need to find the address for Sharon. Now, depending on where you live and where you're getting your leads, this information is typically available online. It's always available in the case. So you can open up the probate case and you can get the address for Sharon Schmitz, so you can start marketing to her. You don't want to send direct mail marketing pieces to the house that Joanne left behind, because Joanne has passed away and Sharon doesn't live there. We're going to market to Sharon at Sharon's mailing address. So not all these leads are equal. You don't have to work them all. Where I'm at, there are so many of them, we can pick and choose. And so I can afford to have a smaller service area of, say, 10 miles. So if the house isn't within 10 miles of me, I have no interest in it. But I live in an area where there's 6 million people. If you live in an area that's more sparsely populated, you might have to have a larger service area. So when you find that where the property is that's in the estate, if you're in a rural area, you might have to drive 30 or 40 miles, but you're already used to that, right? You're already doing that if you live in an area like that. Now, I only market personally to estates where there's real estate listed. I do know that the real estate is not always listed in this information. So some of my students mail to every probate case. Some of them only mail to the ones where there's real estate listed. And this is a budgetary issue, right? So it's completely up to you how many you want to market to. We found that you have to mail 4 times to be the most effective. And most agents, unfortunately, they give up after the first try at just about anything. But investors, we have found, are mailing 3 times. They're mailing the exact same thing all 3 times, but they're mailing 3 times. My students mail 4 direct mail marketing pieces, 1 per month. So let me show you what we got. In the beginning, we tried cold calling the leads. It didn't work. We were trying to skip straight to getting the listings. The results were terrible. We tried postcards. It was a failure. We tried experimenting with different types of direct mail pieces, postcards, business envelopes, express envelopes, greeting card envelopes. Nothing worked. Finally gave up and hired a professional direct response copywriter. And together we developed a series of 4 direct mail letters. We set the letters to go out 1 a month, and the response has been incredible. Then we developed a script to use for warm calling after mailing the letters, and the results went through the roof. These are not cold calls. The letters introduce us. The letters kind of soften the prospect up, and they're expecting a phone call from us. And we'll talk about that. So we found we got the best results when we mailed a simple letter explaining who we are and what we do. The letter offers advice and help should they have questions. We include a small gift, which is a pen. Main reason for the pen is it makes a lump in the envelope and it gets the envelope opened. Human curiosity makes it impossible to resist opening it. In the first letter, and I'm going to show it to you, we don't ask for the listing. Does anybody know why? Why would we mail a letter and not ask for anything? Well, the main reason is we're mailing these, the first letter out probably within a week or 2 weeks of the prospect filing for a petition to probate. And we know that 90% of the time, they don't have the authority yet to list the house. So we're going to take this opportunity, since they don't have the authority to list the house, but we know who they are. We're going to take this time to establish authority, build rapport, instill a feeling of reciprocity. And you're going to see the letter and how that all works. But so when it's time to sell the real estate, we're the logical solution. We don't have to give them any hard sales spiel or hard sales techniques, because we are being a resource to them. Now, this is an example of letter number 1. This is sent in a 9x12 envelope, hand addressed. There's a big lump in it, so you know they're going to open it up. And let me show you what's inside. But we know from our testing that sending it with the pin in it makes the response 90% greater. So here's what's inside. I hope you can see that. I've got the actual letter here. My vision is not that great. So here's the letter. This is letter number 1. So at this point, we have found a prospect, got their address, entered them into our CRM, and this would put their name in up top where it just says Dear Personal Representative. It would actually have the person's name. So it'd be Dear Sharon, I'm writing to you because you are listed as the personal representative for the estate of Joanne Rose. I'm an Arizona real estate broker, specializes in listing and selling properties in probate. I was down at the courthouse on Tuesday. I'm there every Tuesday to review all the new probate cases involving real estate. I came across your filing. From my past experience working with personal representatives, I know you might be feeling overwhelmed right now. You see, I understand that handling real estate is just one small part of all of your duties and responsibilities as the personal representative. But here's some good news. I can make your life much easier, no strings attached. It's invaluable for you to have someone here local you can call on and trust with questions, concerns, and more. Someone who has reputable contacts with service providers when it comes to servicing probate properties. Someone who knows what to do and when to do it. I know those things, it's what I do, and I want to help you. If you have any questions concerning the real estate involved in the estate, feel free to contact me. If you find that you need a probate attorney, I can refer you to one that I've worked with in the past for a free initial telephone consultation. Looking forward to hearing from you, Frank Patrick. P.S. You're probably wondering why I included a pin with this letter. Well, it's not just an ordinary pin. It is a blue pin. And this blue pin will save you time and frustration as you carry out your duties as the estate administrator. A long time ago, an attorney I work with gave me one just like it, taught me a valuable time-saving lesson. If you always sign important legal documents with blue ink, it will make it easier for you to distinguish between the originals, which need to be recorded at the courthouse, and copies, which need to be retained for your files and disseminated to heirs. And the way we do is we print it out, and where it says blue ink, that's actually in blue ink. So it stands out. Then I sign it in blue ink. So here's what the letter has done. So the letter has been written and designed to establish authority. And so this positions me as an expert on probate real estate. So now, if they do happen to know another real estate agent, or if they happen to be introduced to another real estate agent, chances of that agent specializing in anything is slim and none. I think 90% of real estate agents specialize in everything, where I am positioning myself as someone who only specializes in probate real estate. It's also because I am unlike other real estate agents, I never asked for anything for myself in this letter. We come from a position of service before self-interest, and so that helps us begin to build rapport. The fact that I've given them a gift, and the gift is not the pin, okay? The pin is just symbolic of the gift. The pin is designed to get them to open the envelope, and the pin is an opportunity for us to demonstrate our knowledge of the legal process. Hey, I didn't know that I need to sign everything in blue ink, and I didn't realize I was going to have to record some of these things. I never thought about I was going to have to give copies of everything to the heirs. This will make things easier for me. So in their mind, you have given them a gift of knowledge and helped them avoid some pain, screwing up the estate or making a mistake and being scrutinized by the heirs. So the gift, the pin is just symbolic of the gift that we've given them, and that instills just a little bit of reciprocity in the back of their mind. So now when I call a week later and I say, hey, Sharon, this is Frank Patrick giving you a call about the estate of Joanne Rose, just checking to see if you got my letter, the one with the blue pin. That's the conversation starter. So now I'm just checking to see how things are going. Is there anything I can do to help? If the property's vacant, I could recommend a locksmith. And what we find is that in many cases, in fact, probably around 75% of the cases, this personal representative that I'm talking to does not live in the same city or area or sometimes even state as the property. They were a cousin or a nephew or a niece of the decedent, and the property might be in Arizona, but the personal representative's in Michigan. And so this can be a big burden and a logistic nightmare for them to get down and check on the property and see if it's goodness, I hope it's vacant. I never thought about that. And rekeying it. Perhaps they never thought about rekeying it. I mean, who knows who the decedent had given keys to before she passed away. So part of the duties of a personal representative is to secure the assets. And many of them don't think about this, but if that house is vacant, securing it means getting it rekeyed. They would have to go on Google and search for a locksmith and try to figure out what part of the city the house is in. I can pick up the phone, make a call for them, and have the locksmith give them a call, go rekey the house. I'll go over and hang a combination lockbox on the back door. They can put one of the keys in that. That way, if they want to send somebody over to clean the house, or if they want to have an estate sale, they can send somebody over to do that, and they don't have to fly in from Michigan to meet them. If they're not comfortable with that, I'll offer to put a traditional MLS lockbox on it, and I'll be happy to meet the service provider over there. Now, why would I do that? Why would I meet a locksmith over there for someone I've never met? Well, because I know they're going to be selling this house, and I want them to feel that reciprocity. I want them to feel slightly indebted to me, and it's not even a question. 3 months from now, if I've met the locksmith there, and I've met the estate sale company there, and I've taken pictures of everything and sent it to them, as we go down this road through this relationship over the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days, we have a relationship, and I'm going to list this house and sell it when the time comes. So that's the first letter. Now, once again, the first letter is just an introduction, positions me as a specialist in probate real estate. I don't ask for the listing, simply offer to be a resource. It opens the conversation when I give them a call. I don't ask them right when I call them the first time if they want to sell the house. I'm asking if they need help with it. And then the second letter informs them that the second letter goes out 30 days later, okay? And the second letter informs them that I can refer them to a lawn care company, locksmith, handyman, estate sale company, probate attorney, etc. And I include a refrigerator magnet and a list of things that they need to do to take care of a probate property, right? So it's all the stuff that they need. So I'm hoping they take that refrigerator magnet with shaped like a little house with my telephone number on it and stick that list of things they have to do. It's a checklist right on the refrigerator, so I can help them and they can think about it. Once again, the letter further establishes my authority. It helps further build rapport, because once again, here I am helping them and I haven't asked for anything about, for myself. And then it gives me a reason to call them. Hey, just want to check, see if you got the letter. Did you get the checklist? Is there anything on that checklist that I can help you with? I know a handyman or I know an estate sale company that can help you out with that. We're just going to try to refer them to service providers that we have, just like you'd refer a buyer to a home inspector. We're going to try to refer them to somebody that can help them out, make it easy for them, because they have lots of other stuff. I mean, they had to go change all of the bank accounts into the name of the estate. They had to file taxes for the estate. They're trying to track down, where the retirement account's at, send copies of the will, get copies of the death certificate, pay for the funeral out of the estate. I mean, there's a lot of work to be done. 30 days later, letter number 3 goes out. This letter informs them that I can help them if they want to sell the property quickly, as is, to an all-cash buyer, or I can help them get full market value. Right? Once again, this one has a little gift, and it's another checklist that they can use. What I'm trying to do here is freeze out the home investor guys, because I'm going to tell them in this letter that, you know, sure, you're going to get postcards from people offering to buy the house for 50 cents on the dollar, but if you want to sell this house as is to an all-cash buyer, I could expose it to all of the all-cash investor buyers on the market and drive the price up and get more money for the heirs. Because part of the job of the personal representative is to make every decision to the best benefit of the heirs. So they have a fiduciary obligation not to dump this house for 50 cents on the dollar just to get rid of it. They have a fiduciary obligation to get the most money for the heirs, and I can help them do that. Now, maybe they want to clear the house out, put a new coat of paint on it, have some landscaping done, pay for that out of the estate, and sell the house for maximum value. I can help them with that too. So the letter explains to them really the 3 different options they have. You know, as is, all cash sale, make a few repairs so the thing will go FHA, or we could give it a little facelift and get the maximum market value for it. And that's a conversation that they have with the heirs. And oftentimes this gets me a conference call with everybody involved. And then 30 days later, the 4th letter goes out. And this letter, I'm offering them a free broker price opinion. And there's a little tiny gift in there. And basically what I'm doing is the broker price opinion, or if you call it a CMA, this is going to help them determine the value of the property. And I'm going to give them 3 values. Number 1 value is what you'd get from an all-cash buyer, you know, an investor buyer. Number 2 is what you get if you put it on the open market, but just sell it as is, and you know, only make repairs necessary for financing. And number 3 is what you'd get is if we spiff it up a little bit. And so when I make the phone call this 4th time, this is where I'm closing for an appointment to meet the personal representative and the heirs, if at all possible. If they can't meet me in person, let's say they all live out of state, then I will set up a little screen share. You know, you could FaceTime them and share your CMA with the personal representative and the heirs at the same time, and try to get a commitment to list the house for them. So that oftentimes is your listing presentation. 4 letters, 4 phone calls. The call after each letter has doubled the number of listings we take. Now, we can't always get the phone numbers. It depends on the state where you live and where you're getting the leads. You know, sometimes the phone numbers just aren't available, but the calls are simple. We're simply calling to see if they received the letter, ask if they have any questions, remind them that you can be a resource, let them know they can call you at any time. Call 3, that's when we're trying to get them to give us an indication if they think they're probably just going to sell it as is to an all-cash buyer, or if they want to list it on the open market and get full market value. And then call 4 is where we're closing for an appointment, and sometimes this appointment is virtual. That's to present to them a CMA or a BPO and close. That's where we close for the listing, because by this time we're 90 days in and they should have full power and authority to sell the house and close out the estate. So it's a 4-step system. We gather the leads. This is whether you go to the courthouse and get them, you get them online for free, or you pay to get them. And leads can cost anywhere from, there's companies out there that sell unlimited leads for $99 a month. There's others that sell leads for $2 to $3, $4 a piece. So whether you buy the leads or you get the leads for free, you need to get them into your CRM, any kind of contact records management system. Most of you work for a brokerage, probably provides one to you for free, or you already have one that you're using in your real estate business today. If you don't have one and you buy the leads, the 2 lead companies that I work with provide a cloud-based CRM. Now, when you buy the leads from them, you don't have to do anything other than log in. And one of the companies that I work with will actually send the mailing out for you. They'll send the letters out for you. So you literally don't do anything. They put, let's say you're buying 100 leads a month from them. They put 100 leads into your account, into your cloud-based CRM, and they mail out the letters to them. All you have to do is make the phone calls, and if you want, that you can even pay them to make the calls for you. I prefer to do that part myself. And then, of course, you list the property. If you don't have a CRM and you want to get leads for free and you're looking for a solution, there are some really inexpensive ones on the market. I think probably the most popular with my students is Realty Juggler. It's like $179. So once again, this is a simple system. You need a decent understanding of the probate process in your state. You could probably purchase a book on Amazon, and if you want to do that, just search for how to probate an estate, and then your state, California or Arizona. Great books out there. I'm in Arizona. Our probate court's website has an amazing video training series. You can go take their video training series for free and learn how to probate an estate online. It takes about 2 hours. You need some type of contact records management system. Most of you are probably already using some type of CRM, whether it's one your company provided or one you're paying for. If not, you'd need to buy one, and you can, like I said, you can get one for $179 a year. You need to be consistent, right? So, there's 4 steps. You get the lead, put it in your CRM, mail the letters, make the calls. You have to always remember that this is a person that suffered a loss in the recent past, and so we want to treat them with kindness, dignity, respect, and professionalism, and always remember to come from a position before self-interest. We don't ask for anything from them until we have a relationship with them. You got to persevere. So this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not going to get you listings tomorrow. Although some of my students have gotten listings within their first 30 days of pursuing probate listings, you should count on the entire cycle to take about 120 days. From the day you put them in as a listing, you mail them the 4 letters, make the 4 calls, and the time you get the listing, most likely is around 3 to 4 months. Now, by doing this for 9 years in many different states, we found that about 6% of the leads should turn into listings. So let's talk about the investment or cost factor. What does it cost to market to these? Many of my students are just getting leads for free, and they're doing the letters themselves. If you get the leads for free and you do it all yourself, it's going to cost you about $12 to run them all the way through the system, from the very first time you put them into the CRM until you go take the listing. You'll have invested about $12 in taking that listing. If you're paying someone to get the leads for you, and you're paying them to put them in the CRM, and you're paying them to mail out the letters, you're not doing any of that. All you're doing is making the calls. It's going to cost you upwards of $18 a lead. So let's use the higher number. If you're working 100 leads, you're spending $18 to market to them. 6 of those should turn into a listing. If you have an average sales price, let's say your sales price is much lower than mine, it's $200,000. That's a $6,000 gross commission on that sale. 6 sales, $36,000. So you spent $1,800 to make $36,000. That's a 20-to-1 return. So for every dollar you put in to marketing to probate listings, you get back 20. I don't know what other types of marketing you're doing now, but I can tell you that's probably higher than most any other type of niche marketing that there is. I was talking to one of my students the other day. She's paying $7,700 a month to Zillow to be a premier agent in her area. I know for a fact she's not making 20 times that on those leads.
Wow.
It would be
It's
nice.
crazy.
I think she's making about 3 times that, but so
Right.
it's costing her roughly 30% of her income is spent on the lead itself. And I know that's the new model. Is it Realtor.com going to 30% or 35, Scott?
I don't know. I've heard rumors, so I don't know
Yes,
what they're. It's always been. Yeah, I've heard rumors, but I've heard both 30 and 35 from different companies.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yep.
So over the last hour, would you agree it's been time well spent so far? Well, of course, I can't cover every aspect of how we do this business in an hour. So I've created a special offer so you can get everything that you need to know. And if you act fast, I'm going to give you a very special deal. Until just a little over a year ago, I'd only shared this information with my private coaching clients. But I'm going to be holding a live small group webinar training for agents who would like to basically copy and implement my probate listing system in their own area. So if you'd like to, and those dates are wrong, sorry about that. If you'd like to get my help recreating this business and implementing it in your market, I'm going to be conducting a training that includes 2 live webinars. And let me give you the dates. We'll be doing 2 live webinars, start next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 Mountain, 11 Central, 12 noon. And again, the following Friday. So it's 2 Fridays in a row. Each webinar is about an hour long. And on the webinar, I'm going to show you in detail how to find the leads in your area. If you want to purchase the leads, I'll share with you the 2 companies that I purchased the leads from. We'll show you how we set those leads up in our CRM and how to deploy the 4 letters, where we purchase all of the materials for the letters. For those of you that don't want to do it yourself, I'll share with you the company that I use to mail those letters for me. Basically, we're going to give you everything that you need over the course of 2 webinars, so you can basically just copy my system and put it in play in your market area. So once again, 2 live webinars, each is an hour. I'm going to record the webinars, so in case you come in late, leave early, or have to miss a session completely, about an hour after the webinar, I'll be sending you a link so you can watch it whenever you have time. I'm going to give you all of my direct mail marketing letters. I'm going to give them to you in a Word document. So each one of them will be a Word document. All you got to do is open it up, take out my name and telephone number, put your name and telephone number in, and load it up into your CRM. If you want to have someone else mail those for you, I'll introduce you to the company that I use. They already have my letters loaded up. Give you access to my private Facebook group. I've set up a Facebook group just for my students who are using this system all across the United States. And you get lifetime access to that group for ongoing coaching and support. And I give you a list of all of my resources. So where I buy the envelopes, where I buy the pins, who I like for buying leads, who I like for doing the direct mail for me, the whole 9 yards. It's basically everything that you need to know. Now I have to limit the number of people in the class to 47 people because my goal is to get your probate listing business up and running in 2 weeks and have you pounding signs in the ground in 90 days. So who has this worked for? We've had some experienced agents who are looking for more consistency in their listing side of their business. I've had some experienced agents who are starting over. So they've moved and they're starting their business all over from scratch, and they're looking for the quickest, fastest way to build a sustainable, predictable business. This is excellent for team leaders that need to generate a high number of qualified leads and appointments for their team members. And I've even had some new agents have success. Now I can't teach you how to fill out a listing agreement or write a contract, but I can show you how to get in front of ready, willing, and able sellers of properties. So if all this did was get you 1 new listing a month, what would it be worth to you? Or if it cut your advertising expenses, added some consistency to your real estate business? I mean, it really depends on what a new listing is worth to you. I would take all the $200,000 listings that I could possibly get. $200,000 listing is worth $6,000 to me. You can see why my private coaching clients pay me $1,000 a month. So if you were to only work 20 new leads a month, you generate 14 additional listings a year. At a $200,000 sales price, that would add up to $84,000 in gross commission income. So 20 probate leads a month, $84,000 a year. I don't know what kind of split you're on, so I won't do that math for you. I'm sure you can do that in your head. Once again, here's the training. 2 live webinars. The first one is next Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Next Friday, the 26th. So
The
426.
426.
26 and 5/3, so May 3rd. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
April 26th and May 3rd. Yep.
9 a.m. Pacific, 10 Mountain, 11 Central, 12 noon Eastern. You're going to get all of our direct mail marketing pieces in a template, access to the private Facebook group, and a list of all of the resources. It's only $197. It's a one-time payment, no other charges ever. We've set up an order page for you at howtogetprobatelistings.com. howtogetprobatelistings.com. And once we reach 47, we'll either start another group at a different date, or we'll just take the page down. So here's what I ask in return. This is for action takers, right? Don't take this class, just to increase your knowledge on probate. You could get a book for that. This is all about taking action. This is about me guiding you through the process to replicate my business. You need to make a commitment to stick with it for 90 days. Although some of our students have had success in a shorter period of time, you need to be prepared to go 90 to 120 days of doing what I'm going to teach you. Now, this isn't going to take up your whole week. I mean, we're talking 1 or 2 hours a week to work 20 probate leads a month and make an additional $84,000 a year in gross commission income. This is not going to be 40 hours a week worth of work, a couple. 2 live webinars, all the direct mail marketing letters, access to the Facebook group, and a list of all the resources. So you don't have to do anything other than take action. I want to give a special bonus for our action takers, Scott. Anyone that registers today, if you want to start now, you'll get an email from me welcoming you to the group. Just reply to that email, let me know you don't want to wait, and I'll get you access to everything immediately. So you don't even have to wait till next Friday. This weekend, while everybody is looking for Easter eggs, you can be learning how to do. you can learn how to get probate listings. So once you go to this page, this is what you're going to see: howtogetprobatelistings.com. It's just a simple order page. You'll click on the green button if you want to pay with Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, or you click on the yellow button if you want to pay with PayPal. We have a 100% money back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, you decide you're just not going to do this, all you do is send me an email. You don't even need to tell me why. Just send me an email. I'll push a button, put the money back in your account. It has to be within the first 6 months. After 6 months, it's not possible to process a credit card return. It's just that's the window of opportunity you have. So once you click the button, you'll be taken to a registration page where you can register to the for the webinar itself, and that allows me to add you to my email list so I can make sure you get all the information. There's just a couple of testimonials from a couple of my students. This was started in September. Got her first call right after, so it looks like it took her about 2 months to get her first one. This is from one of my other students. Started first seminar, Googled the paper, found 10 leads. Took him 3 minutes to get his first 10 leads. So a lot of people think that you're gonna have to pay for these leads. You can get them all for free. This guy is the exception, not the rule. Got a call off of his first letters, meeting with the personal rep on Monday. This is one of my most recent students. Signed his first listing today using the system. He started the first week in January. Last week he had 2 listing appointments with people from January 1st. Just signed a contract with one of them. So, beautiful. And I didn't put down the states. I've had to look it up to see where they're from. But obviously it's working. If you take action, if you mail the letters, you make the calls, it'll work for you too. So once again, after you complete the order form, you'll be redirected to this page. Here's the dates. I got the dates correct somewhere. April 26th and May 3rd.
There you go.
There's a blue link there where you can click it and show it in your own time zone. So if you're not in Mountain Standard Time or Pacific Time, you click, choose your time zone, and it'll show you the correct time where you're at, and it will send you a reminder a week before, and then 24 hours before, and then an hour before. It'll send you 3 reminders to make sure you don't forget. Once you hit the button, you'll be registered, and you'll have my email address. If you want to get started right away, just reply to that email, and I'll give you access to everything today.
All right.
Get started.
A couple questions here, man. If you can go back, go right there. So a couple questions. It's $197 one-time fee. You get 2 webinars. This does not include the leads. This includes everything that you're going to learn everything from Frank that you need. You're going to get all 4 letters. He's going to give you all the information that you need to get started with this. We had one question here. I have no clue about, and this is the best part about this, I have no clue about the probate process. How do I convince them to list with me? If I can't answer their questions, I have 0 experience. And when it comes down to it, wouldn't you agree, Frank, that it has to do with building the relationship first and foremost?
Yes, and so I'm going to give them some resources so they can become familiar with the probate process. But think about this.
Okay.
I've never met one person who's been a personal representative more than one time. Every one of them I've ever met, this is the first time they've ever dealt with probate. So they know absolutely nothing. And you're not an attorney and you can't answer any legal questions. So the questions you'll be answering will be questions concerning the real estate, like how do I get the house rekeyed? Do you know someone that can do an estate sale? And those things are easy for you to find, and it'll be the same questions over and over and over again. As far as the process of probate goes, each state is very, very similar, and there's tons of resources out there, and I include many of them in the training, but you don't have to be an expert on probate. After an hour with me on the first webinar, you will know more about probate than 1.65 million real estate agents. It's just, most know absolutely nothing.
Right. Now, hey, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Frank. And so I'm just answering. So again, what is the cost of everything? So the class is $197. If you're going to buy the leads, depending on how many you buy, depending on your county, you can get them for free. If you want to buy the leads, which would be my choice, they're not that expensive. But if you're saying if you send all 4 letters with the send, the envelopes, the pens, and everything, the cost if you buy the leads is around $18 per lead. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's okay. Figuring you're paying. That's a high number too. That's figuring if you're in an area with a lot of leads, they cost less than if you're in an area with fewer leads, right? Because if you have to send someone to the courthouse and there's only 10 leads there, they're going to have to charge you more per lead because they're going to have to pay that person, a certain amount of money to get them to drive to the courthouse and do the work. If that person can drive to the courthouse and get 100 leads, then they can sell them for less money, right? But in the beginning, I encourage everyone to get the leads themselves for free in the beginning.
Right. And here's
I do have a company that'll mail the letters.
They'll mail the letters for you too, and you talk about that on the training.
Yeah.
Laura's okay. So these classes are recorded. So these 2 webinars are recorded. In fact, if you want them before the 26th, Frank will email you back. Just say, Frank, send me the past recordings. He's going to do it live on Friday the 26th, live on the following Friday. But if you want the past recordings, which every time he does these live, he obviously makes similar changes, but you can literally get started. It's not drastic changes. So, like for example, before this started, Frank, I looked up Broward County. There was 300 probates per month, right? So there's 300 leads you could work per month. That's 300. So other counties have 50, 75, 25, 100, 160. Depends on your county. And so that's what you can kind of give an idea of depending on how many leads you want to work, how many letters you want to send out, like how much success you want really is the bottom line. The cool part, someone can go down to the courthouse for you, take your 15-year-old down there and say, hey, every month I'm going to send you down and you're going to get this information for me and bring it back to the house. And you're going to put these letters together and you're going to put this pen inside this, and you're going to send them out to each one. And then when they hit, obviously Frank said the power's behind making the phone calls. So every time that letter hits within 3 or 4 days, within a day or two, make that phone call. That's going to be the power. But yeah, if you're going to be out of town the 26th or the following Friday, the recordings, you can get them now, and some starts are more difficult. Absolutely, some states are more difficult.
Yes,
but it's per county is what I'm finding out. So depending on your county, how many there is, you might want to go 2 counties, 3 counties, depending on where you live.
The only difficult state I've found so far is Colorado. Colorado.
Okay.
And here's why it's difficult. They make you pay per lead. The state does, and the county.
Okay.
So when you go in the courthouse and you say, give me all the new probate cases for the week, if there's 10 of them, they charge you, I think it's $4 a piece for them. But hey, here's the good news. Anytime where there's more barriers, there's less competition. Right?
Absolutely.
So most agents are like, I'm not paying $40, and they'd leave.
Right.
And so there'll be fewer people. You know, it pretty much. I mean, I wish where I'm at, you can just get online and get it straight from the county. The information's available.
Hey,
really
real quick. So Heidi was so kind; she wanted to pay double for the amount. So you'll see a double charge from Heidi in there. So
we never turned down money.
We never turned down money. So thank you, Heidi, for the donate. No, I'm just kidding. We'll refund you the one account. So I want to welcome Heidi to the class. I want to welcome Roberts Scoop. It's like placed by Scoop Roberts. So cool name there. Let's see. We got a bunch of people that are. Hey, I think we might be getting close. Here we go. Pamela is in. Carmen is in. Dan is in.
Awesome.
Jason, Jeff, JC, Gloria, Cassandra, Kim, Emma, Paul, Denise, Joe, Howard. Man, I'm gonna mess that one up. Yamil, but Yamelis. I probably screwed that one up. Sorry. Jody, Steve, Greg, Laura, Michael, Dina is in. So let's just jump into some more questions. Greg, congratulations, guys, for taking action. Again, Heidi will get that taken care of for you. So look for a Heidi on there. She needs a refund.
No problem.
All right, for half of it. Okay. How about Ontario, Canada? Does this work in Canada?
So it works in Canada, but the company that I purchase leads from doesn't sell leads for Canada. And so it's going to be slightly different. They're going to have to do a little more research on where to get the leads. I mean, it's going to be at the courthouse, so it's going to be at your courthouse. You know, some of the terminology is different, but the general process works the same. The letters work the same. They'll just have to customize it a little bit.
Got it. All right. Well, welcome aboard, Paul. Paul says, I just signed up. I've been in the business 42 years, and I know this, but I need your help. So
awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, man. Dude, this is awesome. Yeah, I love doing that. I'm getting a site called Vicky's taking a jump here. She's like, I'm getting a site called How to Get Probate Listings Boot Camp. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Do we get all the how-to system going, mailing envelopes, pen, letter, lead sites? Yeah, you get all the site, like where to buy everything. I would highly recommend, like Frank said, get your name and number on your pen.
Yes.
So they start using your pen and seeing your name, the letter. You know, Frank. I teach this all the time, and I use the law of reciprocity in my marketing because it's all about the conversation. It's all about the relationship. I'm convinced that if everybody on this call, and there's a bunch, if we were to give them 50 conversations, some way, shape, or form, whether it's probate, expired, FSBOs, it doesn't matter. But if I was to put everybody on this call in front of 50 people to have conversations, you guys would walk out with deals.
Sure.
This is just a really cool way to do it. That's not market driven or rate driven. That's the
they know how to sell real estate. They just need to be in front of more people who need to sell real estate. And what I like about probate is these are not want to sell real estate. Like, you know, I used to do a lot of business with move up buyers, and it was a good business because they had a house to sell if they could find the right one. But it was also a frustrating business because they didn't need to sell, right? Yeah. They already had a house that already met their needs. Right. They just like to have a bigger living room. They would like to have a more private yard. And so there wasn't that sense of urgency. These by law have to be sold. And there's not it's not an emotional deal. It's not an economic deal. It's this is the law. This is my duty. I have to get this done.
Yeah.
So we're just going to show you how to get in front of these people.
Yeah, Gloria, congratulations for taking action. She says, in my area, there are 150 probates a month. Are you going to help us decide which leads to mail to? Since mailing that many on a monthly basis is a barrier to entry.
So for her, I'm going to show her how to find out if they have real estate in them, and that'll probably cut it down to 100 or under. And then there's other ways, you can put whatever criteria you want. There's so many. I mean, I live in the Maricopa County area. We got
what you got over there, 400?
Tons of
500 tons.
There's 1,000 a month available for me.
Wow.
There's no way, I can. First of all, the city's just too big. I'm not going to drive 2 hours to get to a property. So we pick and choose. And the number one way I choose is I narrow it down by geographic relationship to me. So if it's not within 15 minutes of me, I'm not going to mail to them. So
okay,
that's going to cut way down.
Welcome aboard. Joe, welcome aboard. Linda, welcome aboard. Addie, welcome aboard. Lisa, Matthew, Donna, Helen. Let's see. You guys
keep in mind that
congratulations, man. Yeah.
These probate properties are in your area, and eventually, if no one goes after them, eventually they filter their way down to the market, right? Because eventually the person gets approval to sell the property, and if no real estate agent has contacted them and developed a relationship with them, then they have to go out and search for an agent. And so maybe they'll get on Google, or maybe they'll call their attorney. So what I'm doing is showing you how to get in front of them early, so they don't have to do that.
Okay. So Vicky wasn't buying a site. So it's how to down in the chat box, down in your chat box on the thing. It's how to get probatelistingscom. So it's plural listings, but how to get probatelistingscom. Sorry, Vicky, she's laughing at me right now. I thought she was buying a boot camp, like she's going to teach people. I'm like, hey man, do it. Does it matter if the probate case is open or closed? Great question. Does it matter if the probate is open or closed when you go to the files?
Well, when it's closed, there's nothing left to sell. That means it's all liquidated and closed out. So we're going for, we want to get the leads when they file the petition to probate. That's the beginning. From there, we know we have probably 3 months before they get approval to sell the house. So that's why we start marketing to them when we get the original petition to probate.
Got it. Okay. And Susan said, I just purchased the thing through PayPal. I didn't get any email. So check your spam folder, but Frank definitely 100% gets a copy of it. So she'll make sure it goes through. Yeah. So it's SUZAN, Frank, just FYI.
SUZAN.
Let's see. Okay, Laura, I'm in. I didn't get a confirmation. So how do I access materials? So
I'll be sending out an email to everybody.
Yeah. A lot of times this because of whatever is in the email, if it has something to do with probate or something like that, it's a spam word, and so it might get spam for that reason. So I cannot find the site. Mike, if you go down to the chat box, it's the very last piece of this little control panel here, where you put the question in. There's a link there. If you click on that, it takes you to a sales page, and that's what you're looking for. So how to get probatelistings.com. Judith, Lisa, Laura, David, Kim, welcome. Vicky, welcome. Karen, welcome.
Looks like we're gonna have a full house.
I see the Suzanne. So I think I see her email. So hey Suzanne, I do see it. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm not botching it, so I apologize if I am. How do I know if there are more than one agent using the system? That's the cool part, Gloria. If there's more than one agent using the system, but it's physically impossible. We're all going after the same listings already. So if it's just one more niche, it's who's going to work it the hardest, who's going to do the follow up, who's going to send the 4 letters. The 4 letters are the key. A lot of people will send 1 and not send number 2, or send 1 and 2 and not send number 3. And Frank's strategy is stay in front of them, and he said through there, be consistent and persistent. The follow-up, if you Google follow-up percentages, 48% of the time, people don't follow up after the first time. So there's so much, depending on where you're at, there might be more or less, but there's so much opportunity in this. So Linda, welcome aboard. Let's see. I'm trying to sign up, but I'm not getting it. When I put, okay, here, I'm going to put it right there. Vicky, I just sent you the link. So try that. It should take you redirect right to it. I think, man, Frank, I think that's it. Here's Here's the last question. Have you worked with people in Manhattan or New York City?
Not that I know of. That doesn't ring a bell. I mean, like I said, I do this once a month, 47 students. I don't do it in September because I take the month off. You know, I didn't do it last month because we had an illness and a death in the family. You know, if I could reach 0.1% of the real estate agents, I would be happy. It's just not possible. You know, you're 1.7 million people, and I train 47 people 3 or 4 times a year. I mean, it's just the odds of somebody being in your market. And New York, Manhattan is a big area. That's what I heard the other day. 11 million people in the city. You know, you're twice as big as my city. So, you know, I could probably train 50 people in New York, which I'm sure I never will, and you guys won't cross each other. There's just too many people. Yeah.
How about Los Angeles? Jody's asking. We got somebody here in Los Angeles.
Same thing. I mean,
same thing. I mean, yeah.
It's such a big area.
Carol's talking about Broward. She says the attorneys are great to have the probate market in their pocket. And I think it comes down to working it. Like they're gonna, you know, not everybody will, you know, if Frank and I were like neck and neck sending the same letters, some people, if I make the call first or Frank makes the call first, some of them are gonna like me and some of them are gonna like Frank.
The attorneys don't want to get involved in the real estate side of it because the attorneys went to college for 6 years and had to pass the bar exam. They're not going to stake their reputation on somebody that they feel got their real estate license in 5 days. You know, we don't have I mean, the attorneys don't think a whole lot of real estate agents. You know, they're not going to stake their reputation and screw up their deal because they're making a considerable amount of money, upwards of 15% of the entire value in an estate the attorney gets through probate. They're not going to screw that up by referring out a real estate agent. They don't want to get involved. If the person just absolutely cannot find an agent on their own, you know, 90 to 120 days into it, they might ask the attorney for a referral. But I have found that the attorneys are really hesitant to do that. They're really
Colorado
hesitant.
Springs, 700,000 people. Is that too small? Colorado's like.
No,
I know there's a.
I have students doing well in areas. Well, they live in an area of 5,000 people, but they service a county. You know, when you live in a really small area, you got to service a bigger county. Look at the percentage of people that die every year in Colorado Springs. It's the same as the percentage of people that die every year in Arizona. I mean, it's a large number of the population.
Right.
You have 6,500 baby boomers die every day. You know that in the United States, 6,500 baby boomers die every day.
Wow. Crazy.
It's a lot of people. We just don't. You know, we're not in the business.
I think we hit our market, bro. I think we hit our max. So
awesome.
I think we're really, really close to hitting it. If not, we already hit it. So guys, thanks for being here today. I know we ran over. I appreciate it. We still got almost 200 people here and we're 20 minutes after. I sincerely appreciate you guys hanging with us. If you guys need the link, I'm gonna go to if you need it, it's down in the chat box. I'm gonna leave this open just for a couple minutes. It's down in the chat part of the section, not the Q&A, but I'm gonna post it just here and I'm gonna send to all. So you guys, it's howtogetoprobatелistings.com. And we look forward to working with you guys, and I look forward to hearing the results. I had somebody comment the other day, Frank, about she's been working it for a while now, and it's doing her well. It's just amazing how you can do something so simple, make something so simple, and have it to where it's not rate driven, it's not market driven, it's not inventory driven. It happens. You know what I mean? It takes away all the stress of what everybody else is doing. You know, it's not about it's buying leads of people that have to sell, and it's just a matter of working the leads. And man, if you got half of what you said, what'd you get? What'd you say? 6% of
6%.
Close 6%. There's nothing on earth that you can do that with.
No, you can't. Like, there's no place where you can make 20 to 1.
Leads, Google leads. No, there's nothing. For the amount of money you spend and the amount of money you get out, it's just insane. So, dude, I can't thank you enough for how many people you're helping and how many lives you're changing in the real estate industry. And it's just one more thing that's just never going to go away. The better you get at it, the better you have having those conversations. The cool part is it's every month. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you screw it up the first month, keep doing it, and just keep having those conversations so you get better at it until you start landing some. So Congratulations, guys. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being part of Agent Mastermind. Frank, thanks so much for being here again.
Thank you,
and we
Scott.
will we'll see you same time, same place next Tuesday at 12 Eastern. Everybody have a great day, and look forward to seeing everybody next Friday on the Probate Mastery class with Frank. Thanks so much, brother.